Hello and welcome to a Gilmore video podcast looking at an increasing trend in the energy industry for standardization to be a key factor in current design innovation. Often one associates R&D and new product development, NPD, with seeking to push the envelope, always driving ahead to find ways to optimize performance and thus widen margins. But in the current climate, a more pragmatic strategy around enhancing product design has also emerged. I'm Jonathan Shake-Miller, Content and PR Lead, and I'm joined by two senior team members at Gilmore, Ryan Bludau, the Vice President Technology and Business Ventures, and Brett Robinson, Senior Business Development Manager, to drill down into the factors and thinking behind this development. Thank you guys for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Yep, thank you for having us, Jonathan.
No worries. Okay, so let's get to this. Standardization and design innovation. So for you guys, and maybe Brett, you can kick off on this. What have been the drivers for component manufacturers to gravitate towards standardized solutions and away from bespoke ones in more recent times?
Well, really, it started in the 2014 to 2015 downturn in the industry, where we saw our customers reduce their spending and drift away from the bespoke solutions needed in each and every application. Part of that was with a reduction in safety stocking and reducing budgets. It's turned into more expedite ordering. Gilmore currently offers over 3,500 different product lines, and we took a step back to look into what can we do to standardize across all of our product lines to minimize the variation while still offering the very best product attributes to each and every item we sell.
Yeah, as Brett mentioned, a key driver here has always been cost, right? As we've seen oil prices drop, our customers have been looking for ways to reduce costs in their operations. And obviously part of that has been looking at ways to standardize product to eliminate cost and obviously continue to deliver the same level of quality and robustness in the products that we have to offer.
I guess in a way what you guys are suggesting there is around efficiencies in a sense. So for example, when the oil price is lower, as you referenced there, Ryan, margins are thinner, and so if an operator has some downtime all of a sudden, they need a part, they need a regulator quite quickly. If that's available on the shelf, there's going to be a quicker turnaround on that than, for example, a bespoke solution that maybe might require manufacturing.
Absolutely, absolutely. What we've seen is our customers are trying to reduce the amount of inventory that they're carrying, right? Which it allows them to move towards a standard product so that we can fill that need when that need arises much quicker than creating a bespoke solution for them.
I see. Okay, so you've mentioned in a way the current climate, Brett, there. You mentioned how the current landscape in the industry, there's this kind of concept of maximizing assets, this kind of whole lower for longer aspect of things. For you both, and maybe Ryan, you can carry on with this. What for you are the mutual gains of a policy of standardization for the manufacturer of that particular component, and then also the customer?
Sure. So as we move towards standardization, the value to us as a manufacturer is around getting some leverage in the supply chain, being able to lessen the demand on the engineering department. They're not having to go and design a new version of a widget for a customer. We're able to reuse some of that intellectual property that we've already created. Also, once we get into the supply chain, we're able to go get better pricing because now we're buying in higher quantities. We're not buying in lots of one. Maybe we're buying in lots of 10 or 20 or 30 as needed, which is a great way of reducing costs in the supply chain. As far as the gains for our customers is really driven around, number one, cost, right? And the cost is the number one driver behind all of this. Obviously, the lead times get shorter. Now we're kind of moving away from being an engineered to order environment to more of a maybe a make to order or assemble to order type of environment, which reduces the lead times for our customers, gets them up and running much faster. And because of that, that enables them, like I mentioned earlier, to maybe not stock as much of the product as they've had to in the past. So that takes a little bit of a burden away from them in terms of cost as well.
Completely agree with you, Ryan. Yeah, that reduction in the variety of different components you have to keep in stock, keep on the shelf so you can keep your systems going is critical. One thing that I've found is the commonality of the parts as we've shifted towards standardizing across our product lines. It allows us to tie in some of the top-notch technologies we've developed. Gilmore's been around for 58 years as of now. And over those years, we've created numerous varieties of the same types of products. With over the years, you see additional technological improvements, material improvements. But because of the state of this industry, we do have a hard time obsoleting older products because they're still in use in the field for decades. So with the standardization, we're able to implement all the best product technological advancements, the materials that are of age, and get them out to the field.
That sounds a bit like the best of both worlds in a way. You're able to maintain an efficiency and affordability, but at the same time, you're actually enhancing these products, which is the kind of the dream ticket, really. So you both of you have articulated points around the wider industry very well, very clearly. But now let's look closely. Let's look at Gilmore itself. Can you guys exemplify where those sorts of efficiencies, those sorts of considerations have driven a new iteration, a new version of a valve or regulator? Ryan, if you want to kick us off here.
Sure. So working with our customers, we've been able to, number one, gain feedback on how our products have performed in the field, which is key to ensure that we're taking into account the needs of our customer. And using that information, we launched into a standardization program back in 2016, which was essentially the launch of our Generation 2 products. So it's been a journey that has taken some time, and we're now in the process of wrapping that journey up. But essentially, we took all of that information that we learned in terms of how the product operated, where the deficiencies were, where improvements could be made. We rolled all of that in, taken all that input from our customers, rolled all that into a standardization effort, and went through and essentially requalified all of our standard product offering for the market to continue to evolve and progress Gilmore and continue to be the industry leader in this market space.
Absolutely, Ryan. So we actually did take that slowdown opportunity as the market went into a downturn to heavily invest into our engineering, our research and development, and product development across all of our legacy product lines. And that's what really came out with our Gen 2 products. And then we also came out with a Mark IV portfolio of shuttle valves. To exemplify the Mark IV shuttle valves, we had been getting feedback from our Mark III shuttles, especially at the kickoff of the downturn, of customers wanting to modify and more easily service the products in the field. And that's where we came up with our Mark IV design, where we wanted to add commonality of parts across the entire product line, from the body components, seal subs, fasteners, etc., where a customer could take repair kits existing and go into the field and simply perform repairs or create modular shuttle valve stacks so that they could easily keep working. One of the items that we had modified where we tried to tie in our technology improvements is coining. So coining in our Mark III shuttle valves is required. It's where you mate metal to metal parts so that the metal to metal seals create a tight leak-proof seal. In our Mark IV designs, we actually eliminated the need to coin by improving the seal geometry altogether.
That's really interesting, right, Brett, because you mentioned there about the changes that you made there with the coining. This is direct customer feedback. I mean, is this also coming through sort of maintenance feedback, having visibility and exposure to your own parts as they're coming back to Gilmore to actually for maintenance or for repair or even for new versions?
Absolutely. So we really stepped up our aftermarket program simultaneously with the development of all of these products, where we are getting direct feedback more and more from end users and the OEMs alike, where the system integrators will now direct feedback from their customers. And then we've also been not just listening to the voices of our customers, but listening to the voice of the industry. So we're currently participating in groups like the Rapid S53 and BESI, reporting to better understand how our products are being not only applied in the field, but what their feedback is on how reliable they are. And we take all that feedback and we work to improve the products, eliminate any kind of failure mode that's been reported, and roll out the new standardized designs.
We've spoken before about the S53 database, and I mean, I think that has been a real game changer in visibility, hasn't it? I mean, it really has, because I think one of the problems I think often for a manufacturer is what then happens to a part and how it's actually used out in the field. You don't always get that every piece of the jigsaw, but from that S53 database, would it be right to say that then you were getting much closer understanding of how things were being used and what was going wrong?
Absolutely. The Rapid S53 database gives us critical information like when the product was originally installed, not just on the stack itself, but brought out to the rig and put in regardless of whether it's a repair or a direct replacement. Gives us pretty much the hours of operation it's been used, the fluid type, and really a breakdown on if there is a repair required, what exactly occurred, where was the leak happening. Really well detailed information to help us better understand how the products are being applied.
That's really interesting. Well, in a way, bringing all of that together, and again, sticking with Gilmore, and Ryan previously referenced, of course, the Gen 2 portfolio, which is a big initiative, a big project for Gilmore. What factors can help steer new designs of valves? Ryan mentioned the Gen 2 started rolling out in 2016. You've had around 20 products out now. How has this taken shape and what has influenced it, would you say? Would it be that feedback from account managers, that feedback from the aftermarket team, or a whole host of different factors?
So absolutely. So market awareness has really helped us putting our ear to the ground and listening, again, not only to the industry groups, but directly to end users. We found through the downturn, customers weren't simply just throwing away, the low cost valves anymore. They wanted to know, why are they seeing continuous issues with it? And it gave us the insight to look into each and every one of those designs and say, how can we improve it? How exactly is it being applied? We did a lot of expanding in our qualification area, like I mentioned, on our R&D laboratory. And so we actually go well above and beyond current industry requirements, because if there are any type of failure modes that we're not realizing, we want to catch it in our own R&D testing.
Yeah, I mean, as Brett mentions, right, feedback from the customers here has been key. Obviously, as the downturn came in and everyone was being very mindful of spend, folks started questioning performance of products and highlighting any issues that they were facing. So that was, again, the genesis for being able to get all of this information. And from there, taking that info, building that into the updates that we did as part of the Gen 2 product update, coupling that with, as Brett mentions, the R&D lab and R&D testing being above what the industry requirements are. Right, we created a very robust qualification plan to run our products through to ensure that we were emulating the applications as closely as possible and push the limits of where the products are. And that qualification program has allowed us to ensure that the products that we're launching are superior to products that are out in the field today.
I mean, we've spoken before about this, Ryan, and I think what you're speaking to there very much comes down to that industry sentiment of tried and true. And I guess what you're saying there is that through that testing and taking that testing to that extra mile, it's giving that reassurance, I guess. Is that right for the operators and for your clients?
That's exactly right. Trying to emulate the applications as much as possible has been really core to our testing to ensure that the products behave as intended in these hydraulic circuits that they're being deployed into.
Okay, well, some great feedback from you both there. I think to tie this all up with one final question for you both, Brett, maybe you could start out on this. You both articulated this very clearly. So based on what Gilmore has learned through this quite ambitious standardization process within the team, improving product ranges through the manufacturing and engineering of new versions, retaining the best elements of those legacy products. So in a sense, you enhance the serviceability, you have them available on the shelf, but at the same time, they're an enhancement, they're an improvement. Moving forward, looking towards the future, how is the Gilmore team looking to embrace and move forwards with future product developments as we go ahead through 2021 and beyond, Brett?
So we're absolutely looking to conclude the entire Gen 2 product range. We've wrapped up the Mark IV and continue offering the best elements that we found in our technology capacity and tie that in to standardize across the legacy products, improving and standardizing so that our customers have less training required, more data, qualification data, and manuals so that they can better service our products in the field when needed and really drive the durability and reliability of our products.
Yeah, we're looking at the data associated with all the improvements that we've made to our technology. And obviously, we'll continue to develop and iterate and improve on the current products that we have going forward. But we also are looking at other industries that we currently are not participating in and looking to leverage those technologies that have made us so successful and leverage those into these new industries as we go forward. Gilmore has a very aggressive growth plan, which is really hinges on the core technologies that we have today, and taking those into other markets we see as a huge advantage for us in order to be effective and successful ultimately.
I guess in a way what you're saying there is that if you've got the reliability of product, you've got the durability of product, you've got the quality of materials, you've got the, if you like, as you mentioned just now, the cycle testing that is beyond industry standards, you can go into these different sectors and say, we've got these products, we can make a difference, I guess.
That's exactly right. We're looking to, Gilmore is known for providing critical and severe service products that have to work, right? Where failure is not an option. That's the niche market that we play in today, and we'll continue to expand our product offering into other markets that meet that similar criteria. We're never going to be a commoditized type product. We'll always be a company that's looking for these critical and severe service applications where we can take our technology and deploy it and provide a solution for our customers. Essentially, where do customers have pain points and how do we solve them? We want to be that development partner with our customers to make them successful.
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
Well, Ryan, Brett, thank you so much for your knowledge and your time today. It's been really interesting hearing about this whole process. It's been a great conversation. Thank you so much to both of you.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us.
No worries.